Wow. Here we are, live on YouTube and in podcast form. That's Good Broncos. Presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app. Use code DNVR if you still have any faith in football whatsoever when you sign up at DraftKings, because Broncos fans are living in pain, as my host Will Keys, his thing says pain right here. Very true right now. Broncos got the shit kicked out of them by the Chiefs, 43-16. A lot went wrong in this game. Everything went wrong in this game. Nothing went right in this game, except for the defense played good and Phillip Lindsay. Phillip Lindsay in the defense.
And even Phillip Lindsay didn't go right.
No,
he got knocked out.
He got injured.
Thank you, Daniel.
What do we do, Will? How do we approach talking about something we hate right now?
So it's been 10 straight. Vic Fangio appears to be very bad at coaching against Andy Reid. Very, very bad. I think
very bad.
Yeah. I don't think he's gotten within like 20 points of them in 3 attempts. It's rough.
Yeah. What sucks is when the Chiefs played in Denver last year, Mahomes gets hurt. Matt Moore comes in. The Chiefs still win. This game, the Broncos finish against Chad Henne. Another backup comes in. And usually when a backup comes in, it's a good thing. Except for garbage time backup quarterbacks. The win against the Patriots last week might be a little inflated because the Patriots might suck. They just got annihilated by the 49ers. Okay, so Drew Lock threw a couple bad interceptions, a pick six. Special teams, who I was hard on earlier this week, and I think you thought I was a little. I think you thought I was a little too hard on them.
I was wrong. You should have been harder.
I should have been harder. We should have been harder on Pat Shurmur because Denver gave up a kick return.
Seriously.
That's not on Shurmur. Although, actually, you know what? The Broncos special teams fucking up. I blame it on Pat Shurmur. Pat Shurmur should be coaching. Pat Shurmur should be so good at offensive coordinating that he coaches the special teams too. Everybody's just like, you know what, Pat? We want your ideas on special teams. What do you got for us? And instead,
we finished the game plan early. Let's just go cut over to special teams. Why not?
He's like, hey, I know what I'll do. Drew Lock, go out there and make the hardest throws.
Yeah.
And beat teams by making the hardest throws you can.
I mean, we talked about it. We talked about it before the game. We talked about it just a few minutes ago when we were going live. But the disparity between the Andy Reid offense and the Pat Shurmur offense, Mahomes always has the outlet available for 7 to 15 yards in case one of their guys breaks a tackle, and they usually do. Whereas Locke, it's just like, okay, sit back in the pocket, move from left to right, read the whole field, make a throw in a tight window. They just don't make things easy on him. The Chiefs are so good at making it easy on Mahomes.
Yeah. And they and you don't even do
so.
You do that, like, good offensive coordinator realizes, one, when he has a good quarterback, that even good quarterbacks are going to thrive when they're asked to make the really tough plays infrequently. And it feels like Drew Lock's the way they're trying to run the offense is let the running game look awesome and then stop running the ball for no reason and have Drew Lock throw the ball 60 yards downfield, 20 yards downfield. You know what? One play when Locke he took the short route. It was a completion to Tim Patrick. It was a first down. And then they cut to like the field angle. What kind of like of what Drew Lock sees. He had Tim Patrick, and then behind him he had KJ Hamler, and right behind him he had Jerry Jeudy. So he had 3 receivers all in the exact same area, just like 8 yards down the field from each other. Now, I don't know if that's just because Drew Lock carried the play on too long and they all ended up drifting over that way, or if it was designed where you, like, to me, my immediate thought was, this looks like a horrible play design. Why do you want 3 receivers stacked in 8-yard increments down the field? And I say that as somebody who suggested that very thing with 2 receivers for Josh Allen, in case whenever he overthrows a guy, you got a guy behind him to catch it. I don't like it for Drew Lock, although he did overthrow some of the guys, and maybe if he did it there, it would have looked cool. But it was like a play design that I was just like, I don't think that's right. I don't think that's what you want.
I'm trying to think too. What was the last time they like set up a screen to Phillip Lindsay?
Never. I've never seen the Broncos run a screen.
The big thing, or a successful screen at least, the big thing in the offseason for Lindsay is he's going to work on his hands and his ability as a pass catcher. I don't think they've thrown it to him.
No.
And he's like he's the most consistent player on the offense too, and they just like can't get him the ball in space.
He is Mr. Colorado.
He is.
And the second Mr. Colorado is Dalton Reisner. And I liked when I saw him out there picking up Jerry Jeudy off the ground. It's like, get up, I gotcha. It's like, I want that in my life. I want a big, strong man to just be there to pick me up when I get knocked down.
I'm sure that's something you could like pay for.
Yeah, if I get rich enough, that's the first thing I'm buying. It's a big offensive lineman to live at my house with me and just like get me out of bed every morning.
Ooh, I could use that.
Bathe me, my man.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? Fight him off? Don't think so.
Okay.
So let's see.
So,
I'm just looking at the numbers here.
Yeah, give me some numbers. Give me something.
24 for 40, 254 yards, no touchdowns, although he did have the rushing touchdown, and a pair of interceptions.
And
I thought, yeah. Go ahead.
I was going to say I liked the call for the rushing touchdown. I thought that was one good play call for Pat Shurmur.
Yeah,
it was a nice
play where he didn't have to like just sit back there and move across the entire field at the 2-yard line. Probably a good play.
Okay, yeah. So I'm going to say 2 things. One, that play call, it was a fake handoff inside, so you get the defense to bite, which they would do when you're running the ball well, which it seemed like they weren't doing very often. And then Drew Lock runs out for the touchdown. Okay.
Yep.
And I already forgot the second thing I was going to say. Damn it.
I don't think they're getting the ball to Jerry Jeudy enough.
No.
He seems like he makes a play every time he touches the ball, and he was targeted 4 times with 2 completions for 20 yards.
Yeah. He's not getting the ball enough.
Lock was definitely spreading the ball. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different players caught a pass. The receiver with the most receptions was Okwuegbunam. Feels like Lock really favors him, which I don't know. He completed all 7 targets to him, but it feels like sometimes Lock likes to, no pun intended, but lock in on one guy.
A lot of those were late too.
Yeah.
I think like you want to see the Broncos dialing up situations where it is designed for Lock to get rid of the ball quickly.
Yeah.
Like I don't care how they do it, but it feels like every drop back, either he's waiting because the routes are long or he's waiting because he doesn't know where he's going to go with the football. So as an offensive coordinator, you want to be like, these are your 3 targets. Go here, here, or here. These are your 2 targets. You only have 2 targets here. If it's not open here, just take off and fucking run. Like Justin Herbert's doing, getting 60 rushing yards for the Chargers. And don't slide with your stupid knee brace and break the knee brace and scare everybody like we think your knee's torn up. Anyway, it's just I just want to see quick. It's so crazy too because like we've seen so much bad quarterback play where all they would do was throw checkdowns. Like We thought Case Keenum was going to.
Right.
We're asking just have a mix. Just mix it up. Have a full fucking game of throwing all over the field. I mean, they do throw it all over the field, just never anywhere effectively.
I like that he's aggressive, but it feels like the shots could be more calculated.
Yeah, you got to coach when to be aggressive, I think, right? Like that's the thing there. Ooh, we got our super chats working over here on That's Good Broncos. Aaron Lynch, $5. The Denver secondary avoided Tyreek Hill like the women of KC avoid Tyreek Hill. Boom, roasted Tyreek. The Denver...
They actually did pretty well on him. 6 catches, 55 yards.
Yeah, they avoided letting him score touchdowns. I mean, Mahomes had 200 yards and 1 touchdown, right?
Yeah, a really difficult throw to Tyreek Hill for a touchdown.
Yeah, like we said, the Broncos defense...
And that's a compliment to Andy Reid.
Played well. They played solid football, except for the opening drive. And it was just like the Jets game. The opening drive, you're like, uh-oh, this might be a long night because they couldn't tackle Sam Darnold and they couldn't tackle, was it Edwards-Helaire that made the touchdown?
Yeah.
Also,
3 tackles at once.
We're supposed to not say the H in his name. It's Helaire.
French.
It should be Helaire. I don't care what it is. If I see an H, I'm giving a... It's basically what I'm doing about halftime during Broncos games.
It's so depressing. Like these games, it feels like they're so non-competitive against the Chiefs. It feels like, as a fan, it's hard to sit down and like come in with any sort of optimism. And after they go down 7-0, you're like, okay, well, why should I sit through this? Why should I spend 3 hours of my Sunday watching this? Why wouldn't I just turn on Red Zone?
Yeah. I mean, I switched to Red Zone about halfway through the third quarter, I think.
I think I beat you there.
Somewhere. I was like, I might as well just start working on what I'm going to be doing later and tomorrow. Here's a good question from Austin, though. Look at Herbert, then look at Locke. Who has more T, Will? Which is the higher T quarterback right now?
I mean, I think Locke has plenty of T. I don't think that's the problem. He might need to settle down. I think he's got too much T right now.
Ooh, too much T. A misappropriation of T.
I think Herbert's got the perfect amount of T going right now. He's just right in that sweet spot of T.
Yeah, where he's very masculine, very confident in his sexuality, but not in a weird, douchey way, aggressive way.
He's not trying to prove anything.
Yep, not trying to prove anything, not exposing himself in situations that he shouldn't be, never holding on to the ball for too long. You start holding on to your balls a little too long, you might have just a little too much tea running through your body,
I agree.
Will and I are not out on Drew Lock. Right now, fire Drew Lock, not fire him, but move on from Drew Lock is the instant hot Twitter reaction. He's a young QB. He's going to have some bad games.
Especially against the Chiefs. Let's give some credit to the Chiefs defense. They are constantly overlooked, and they're one of the best defenses in the league.
After this game, I'm willing to say
they're
the best defense I've ever seen. After this game, it was the greatest defense ever put on a football field. They won't be like that next week, but just this 1 week, no way to explain.
I think they might be like that next week if you want to look at their next opponent.
Do they play the Buccaneers?
I think they play the Jets.
Oh.
It's a get-right game for the Chiefs.
Yeah, they do play the Jets. They play Tampa after Thanksgiving. That'll be an interesting game. Okay, so in this game, we had Melvin Gordon fumble, and we had Melvin Gordon throw a pitch over Drew Lock's head on a flea flicker. What worries you the most? the continued regular fumbles by Melvin Gordon, the bad pitch on the flea flicker on what seems like a simple task, or the fact that the Broncos had just gotten a first down and Pat Shurmur said, you know what? In this snow game where every time we take a risk, it doesn't pay off, let's run a fucking flea flicker.
Definitely not a fan of the call there. Not a fan of any of his calls, to be honest.
I hate him.
Bring back Rich Scangarello.
Bring Skangy back. Bring Skangy and Brock Olivo back.
I think the first fumble was just a good play by the Chiefs.
No, it was a good play, but it's like once that contact starts to be initiated, you got to wrap up.
Yeah, you got to cover up
Melvin. You got to get that hand, that other arm on it.
It feels like he had it in his head in the flea flicker. That's such an easy play to execute.
Oh my god!
At least throw it at his feet.
When I was 8th grade QB1, Will, my favorite plays were pitches because they were the easiest. And if there was a fuck up, it was usually the running back's fault. Not me handing it off shitty, not me throwing a pass into the dirt and they bringing in the tall, strong quarterback to actually throw it.
Can we master like regular deep passes before we try flea flickers? How about that?
And I don't want somebody to
figure that one out.
I don't want somebody to pull the all 22 and show the Broncos had two wide open guys there and say some bullshit about Shurmur had the right call. It was the wrong fucking call. Like he has no situational awareness. Maybe the least situationally aware offensive coordinator I've ever seen. They're supposed to be smart guys. They're supposed to be smarter than everybody. And honestly, I think my baby is smarter than Pat Shurmur.
I don't doubt it. I mean, he got hired based on what he did with Daniel Jones last year, and I just think Daniel Jones. You got good numbers out of him, but Daniel Jones and Drew Lock aren't very similar quarterbacks.
No, Daniel Jones is as fast as Tyreek Hill.
He's the fastest player on the field. He is like a read, move on to like 4 or 5 different reads in a play type of quarterback. Drew Lock's not that. He's a gunslinger. He's an improviser. He's a play action kind of quarterback. And I don't think he's the right fit. I thought they were building something with Rich last year, and I was upset that it got interrupted. And now, because I don't think it's the right fit, you have to do the thing where, all right, well, we're going to give our young quarterback 3 different offensive coordinators in his first 3 years, which shit never works out. It's like Alex Smith, his first few years in San Francisco. He had a different offensive coordinator until like Greg Roman was there for multiple seasons. It's embarrassing. You got to find the guys that have potential and give them a chance to blossom. And I will extend that metaphor to Drew Lock as a quarterback. And then, is that a reference to the sitcom?
Yep.
Nice. And you got to find the guys who have hit their ceiling and clearly aren't a match, and then kind of get out while you can and not fall victim to the sunk cost fallacy. And I think that's the case for Shurmur. So, and unfortunately, I think that's going to turn into a big time lack of continuity, and you're putting your quarterback behind the 8 ball. But you got to get the right guy in there, not just the same guy.
You're making your quarterback look like he smoked an 8 ball.
Yes.
That's cocaine, kids.
I will say about Drew Lock too. Step into those throws.
Oh, come fuck. On.
Step into those goddamn throws. That's
his footwork.
Cam Newton can't do that either.
His footwork's bad.
These kids are watching Mahomes.
Yeah, he's like trailing back in the pocket too.
Right.
It's like he doesn't look comfortable there.
As the ball loses velocity. These kids are watching Mahomes and try to be him. Do not watch Patrick Mahomes. If you're a young kid trying to play quarterback, watch I'd rather show a kid Daniel Jones tape than Patrick Mahomes tape. because Mahomes is like not very fundamentally sound. That's not a diss. Like he's good despite it because of like he's got a fucking bionic arm. But
Yeah,
it's
he's
not.
incredibly athletically
Don't
gifted.
try to replicate that. Stand in there, man. Just like finish on your plant foot.
Yeah.
Get those hips into a throw for once.
Get those DAC hips going and
Finish it off, man.
Finish some throws. I
Don't see him gooseneck it like Derek Carr.
Yeah, I think it's just crazy because last week we're talking about how good Drew Lock looked despite all of his receivers, dropping crucial touchdowns. This week he did not look good. The Broncos didn't. It's hard. If your quarterback's not good, it's hard to bail him out. So your quarterback can be good and you can blame the wide receivers. When the quarterback's not playing well, everything goes bad. And then Phillip Lindsay, who was having a game, got knocked out with a concussion by Daniel Sorensen. Sorensen had the pick 6 too, right?
He did.
Dirty Dan. Oh, I hate Dirty Dan.
Let's go.
So I hope instead of watching the Broncos lose, you won a little money with America's top-rated sportsbook app and DraftKings. Again, the code is DNBR when you download it. And to add to the excitement for this week of football, DraftKings is bringing back their can't-miss offer. So if you haven't tried DraftKings yet, head to the App Store now because you don't want to miss this. DraftKings, the sportsbook, is giving all new users the chance to earn a sign-up bonus of up to $1,000, Will, when signing up
$1,000
with code DNVR. DraftKings Sportsbook has endless ways for you to bet. Just like the Broncos have endless ways to blow a game, especially when they play the Chiefs. From live betting to betting on your favorite players, they do it all. DraftKings is safe. This is reliable. It is secure. But it is not the cure for what ails the Broncos. I'm really good at improv. Making it easy for you to deposit and withdraw your money at your convenience. So download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use code DNVR when you sign up to get that $1,000 bonus offer. Again, that's up to $1,000 for a limited time. You must be 21 years or older. It is for Colorado only. Suck it, Kansas and Missouri Chiefs fans. Bonus comprised of a first deposit bonus and a first bet match, each up to $500. Deposit bonus requires 25 times playthrough. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700. Boom. Somebody's saying they should give Brett Rippon a look. We've seen Brett Rippon.
Sorry.
I actually heard, I think I was listening to The Fan, and I think it was Cecil Lammey was saying, like, Brett Rippon knows how to run Pat Shurmur's offense better at this point than Drew Lock. He wasn't saying that Rippon was better as a quarterback, but he was saying
I don't disagree, I guess. I mean, I'm not watching them in practice, so it's hard to say.
Oh, did Budda Baker get his first ever interception?
Maybe, but the Rays also just scored. It's 3-2 now.
Okay.
Randy Rosarena just knocked in a run.
Clayton
Kershaw is combusting.
Ooh.
Did you know that Clayton Kershaw played in high school with Matt Stafford?
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, I think I heard that on some sports show sometime.
It's kind of a cliche. It's a little Antonio Gates played basketball kind of thing.
Did you know that the only reason basketball players are good at football is because they play basketball?
It's because boxing out a defender for football is like boxing out a basketball player for a rebound. That's what I've been told.
Have you ever been told? Do you guys know about this basketball and football correlation?
Apparently playing other sports will make you good at all sports. That is like something if like you're also like a high school kid listening to this.
Don't play sports.
Do your goddamn homework. But yeah, play every sport and it'll make you better at your favorite sport. Guaranteed.
Yeah. Unless you're like
don't specialize in high school.
Unless you're like rich and like you can play football in the fall and then you go to some like weird school and you get to play spring football and you have
play
special
basketball.
coaches.
I think work hard, but like look at Joe Burrow, Mr. Ohio in basketball.
Is skateboarding a sport?
Yeah, sure. It's good for balance.
I want my daughter to skateboard. Is that weird?
How soon? Like you thinking like
3? Start her at age 3. I think at 3 you can start like forcing your dreams and hopes that you failed at onto them.
You failed at skateboarding?
I mean, I was pretty good, but I gave up on it, just like I gave up on everything else.
That's okay.
I could be pro right now.
Why don't you get her on the sticks and play a little Tony Hawk
Golf?
Pro Skater 1 and 2?
That's good. Oh yeah, they just re-released that. I'd like to get that. Okay, positive spin from Broncos.
The defense.
Why? Okay.
There you go. That's it. The only one.
Okay, so obviously the defense played well, but they released AJ Boye. Devontae Bosby.
Yeah.
Because Boye came back.
That doesn't make any sense.
They're hoping to sign Bosby back to the practice squad.
Why do we keep fucking dangling him?
He was playing. He's playing ahead of like Devontae Harris. So why are you not taking that risk with Devontae Harris? I just don't understand it.
I don't either.
And luckily, the Broncos didn't get torched by the Chiefs in the passing game, or we would have that to discuss. But they could have had fucking the best corner, the top 5 best corners in the NFL in this game, and it wouldn't have made a difference. That's how bad the rest of the team.
Didn't give up a long touchdown to Tyreek Hill. That's a plus. Didn't give up a red zone touchdown to Travis Kelce.
Nope. That was our big fear.
Yeah, I was like, I don't care who scores, just not Travis Kelce in the red zone. So that was a positive for me. Malik Reed got another sack. Bradley Chubb got a sack. Draymond Jones came back and got a sack. I think the defensive line played well. They did get gashed a couple of times in the run game, but like I said, you'd rather the Chiefs run on you than throw on you. Yeah. And I just wish the offense and special teams would have rewarded them for their efforts.
Yeah, Malik Reed, 2 sacks, so 4 total for the Broncos. Anytime you're able to sack Mahomes 4 times, you're doing something right. I think, honestly, like if I'm being very, very honest, I thought the Broncos were screwed after they scored that first touchdown and McManus missed the extra point.
That's always the kiss of death because yeah.
To me, I was just like, uh-oh.
Last year they scored on their opening possession when Joe Flacco's the quarterback and went for 2 and missed it, and you're like, all right, that's it.
Things aren't going to shake out to our liking.
Nope.
They said Mike Purcell left with an injury in this game as well.
Oh, fucking awesome, dude. Awesome. Just what we needed.
Good God.
Let's not forget to roll out the excuses every week.
Yeah, we need lots of them.
Injuries. Even though most of the guys came back. Still missing Von Miller. I'll use Von Miller and Cortland Sutton as the excuse until they get back.
Yeah. If you could because Von Miller might come back in December. But let's say you were able to have just one of those guys for this whole season. I would probably take Cortland Sutton at this point because I feel like the defense is playing better without Vaughn, and not having a healthy Cortland Sutton is probably hurting the offense and then the team overall more.
And Sutton was clearly Locke's go-to guy last year.
Yeah. And Tim Patrick's still good.
The one drive where he was playing, he was Locke's go-to guy. Yeah, no, Tim Patrick's playing well. He's kind of like a poor man's version of Cortland Sutton in the way that he plays. He's just like a solid guy. He's not like that. Like Cortland Sutton's just a freak. He's a freak. Like he's a game breaker. You get the sense like he can score from anywhere on the field. I just probably you want to make a strength better and say add Von Miller to the defense, and like now you've got a defense that's going to keep you in every single game. You might think, but ideally, I'd just like to have both of them back.
Yeah, me too. Well, we will let this loss sink in. I'll let Will watch his stupid baseball. I'll catch some Sunday night football, and I don't know exactly how I'm going to do the recap for this game. But best and worst of NFL Sunday.
Sit down and watch this game again is
probably
the right thing to do. Or you. I don't want you to just have to sit down and relive this game.
No, I'm going to do some takeaways. Yeah, it was terrible.
It almost killed me.
Will is alive, but he almost didn't make it.
Barely, by the slimmest of margins.
All right, thanks for joining us live here on the YouTubes. That's Good Broncos. Download the podcast if you want to listen to it that way instead of on YouTube.
Thanks, guys. Good night.
And good luck. Beat you.